Hello, in this video I'm going to share with you how the new Overland Workshop program works with our Patreons. Videos about to be released, something very interesting and some interesting subjects and some amazing travel planned for this year. I'm also going to talk about the 4xOverland shop, which is opening 1st of February, and some new merch. Stick with us. Okie dokie. I've got a list here of things that I need to talk about. Firstly, Overland Workshop is a project where I bring in experts, overlanding experts, and I'm talking about people with really deep, decades of experience in many different countries, to share and instruct their inspiration, their knowledge, what they've gained over the millions of kilometers of overland and remote travel. It's starting with myself and Paul Marsh. We have teamed up, and it's called overlandworkshop.com. Patreons, all Patreons, no matter what level, if you are an active Patreon, you will get a year's subscription for free. And a year's subscription means that all of the courses, at the moment there are 3 active and 2 in production, and they will be running probably before July. You'll get everything new we put up on you. That's the year. So in other words, a year subscription means that everything we do, you participate and get that. And every year, if you want to renew, you'll get the work that we add to it from there. And so every active Patreon, no matter how long you've been a Patreon and no matter how much you have contributed, if you're an active Patreon, you will get 1 year free subscription. Okay, that will not be ongoing for Patreons. Unfortunately, there will be some of the upper tiers of Patreons will be able to access Overland Workshop, but the machinery and mechanics behind that is extremely complicated because we cannot link the 2 databases. Or it's extremely difficult and extremely costly to do so. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to say to our Patreons, thanks guys, you have made this possible, which is the truth. Okay, you have. And those of you who don't want to or cannot afford to contribute to the Patreon project, you still get all of our videos for free. My idea was really not to limit. I don't put a lot of exclusive content to Patreons, very little actually, because I want everybody to have access to it. And those that feel, yeah, I'd like to contribute because I love the show, keep doing more, you can. If you can't, well then you can't, and it doesn't matter, you still get to see the shows. But Patreons do get some special stuff. Now, I wanted to show you this. This is our new postcard. Every postcard, we've done 4, so for 4 years now, Patreons receive a postcard from me. It is personally signed, and this is the one for 2022. Now, in each of them, I have found a moment in the year before that to me was most memorable, and put it on a postcard, and I sign it. Gwyneth signs it too, and it's our way of saying thank you. And that every Patreon above the $5 pledge gets that, as long as if they've been a Patreon for more than 3 months, or 3 months or more, they get a postcard. This one was the last year's was that one. It was in memory of the Pilbara trip we did, and those magnificent sunsets. They're just glorious toe curling sunsets in the Pilbara. And that was that one. The year before was that one, and that was remembering the trip I took to. I was invited to the Off-Road History Museum, actually before it opened to the public, just outside Dubai, and the photographs in the museum itself weren't particularly exciting, but on that same trip I got to ride in some really old Land Rovers in the desert, and I thought that to me was a really memorable moment in the filming of that year. Previous to that, this one was released in 2019, so this was the 2019, commemorating my crossing of Australia. I did 2 crossings, right the way through, right all the way back. Many of you will know the videos, and that's me sitting on top of my trip carrier, again, enjoying those magnificent sunsets. So Patreons, ta-da, that's the one that you are going to be getting in the post now. And that, of course, is the purchase, building and driving across Australia of the 45-year-old Range Rover. I must tell you that was by far the best thing that happened in 2021. That was, in fact, I regard it as one of the highlights of my career. There was just something about it. I just had such a fantastic time. I hope you enjoyed the series. I certainly did enjoy making it. So all of those that do get it, I encourage you to look at the back, read the back. There's a cryptic little thing going on. There's a stamp. Some of those stamps are genuine. They are, and the latest one actually has a Falkland Island stamp with a Land Rover on it. Okay, right. So, what else? The shop. Our shop, which will sell merchandise like stickers and stuff like that. Coolies, we've got a new coolie we've just designed with the 3 hero vehicles on it, the Troop Carrier, the Dream Tourer, and the Range Rover, and other merchandise, and a few other little products that we've kind of developed and are busy developing, and that opens on the 1st of February 2022, and that is basically 4xOverland.com/shop. There's some new merchandise. Now, at the moment, our merchandise is sold via the page on YouTube. That page, it goes to a company called Teespring, and they are actually made in the United States. We are, at present, creating a store in Australia. And I will now make an announcement when that store is. So what you'll basically be able to do is to actually go on to 4xOverland.com, and there will be a page, a badge, a button on there indicating merch in Australia, and you'll be able to actually basically get that same merch. I mean, this is one of the t-shirts. I've actually designed a whole lot more, some quite nice stuff for that are now available on the American site, and will be soon available on the Australian site. Because postage is really expensive. It makes it really expensive to get merch here in Australia. So I'm doing something about that. Right, the videos that I have planned. Okay, I've got a video coming up for Patreons. You'll get it in fact, late this week. Why I won't drive a Nissan Patrol. It's a bit of a story time about my history with Nissan, and the reason why you'll not see me in a Patrol. And it's got nothing to do with the car. Nothing to do with the car. But it's a little bit of history and everything, and I think you'll find it quite amusing. And some of you will, well, it'll be interesting seeing the reaction to it. Of course, the Range Rover project, the video is about to come out about building the Range Rover. We've started preparing it for the big trip. There'll be a series of videos on preparing it, getting it ready. I've got a big gearbox on its way. I've got wheel rims on their way. There's a video coming out quite soon about why we can't travel with the standard wheel rims. We can't use them, and why. So I've organized some other rims. There's some other bits and pieces and parts on their way, and what I'm going to fit now and what I'm going to fit after the trip, and my rationale behind that. Because mainly the most important thing to do is to make sure that really, really old car does that trip with no major mechanical failures, and that's a very, very tough call. I have travel plans. So these are they. Now again, I can't promise them with the fluidity of COVID. West Australian borders have closed again, which just seems to me completely ridiculous, given everything. I don't want to get into a conversation about that, but we will get permission to leave, because this is business. You can leave on business. You can't leave. You can't, if you're a tourist, they won't let you leave and they won't let you come back. There are still those ridiculous, you know, and I think the public is starting to say, enough. Enough. You know, the Western Australian people have done everything you've asked, and you have done nothing you've promised. And I think they're getting sick of it. I am getting sick of it. Okay, beyond that, how about this? Ethiopia, new country for me, bit out of my comfort zone. Kenya, a little less out of my comfort zone, but not been there before. I actually went there when I was very young, like 6 years old. Remember it vaguely. I remember Mombasa. I remember, anyway, doing with a vehicle. I've been offered a troop carrier, quite what sounds like a quite well-equipped troop carrier, for a tour through Ethiopia and Kenya, and it'll be a wildlife expedition. It'll be in search of birds, wildlife, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the culture and history of Ethiopia is astonishing. So it really is unique. So I'm looking forward to that. That is planned for August. So the Range Rover trip June, Ethiopia and Kenya August, September, then mid-September, North America, and including Canada. Now I want to make an appeal to the Overland Expo people. When I went, when I visited Expo, and I sometimes get I think it was 2016, I've been there 3 times. You guys, under different ownership, I believe, gave me an evening at 7 o'clock in the main venue, in the main hall, and it could seat probably 100 people. There were probably 150 in the building. There was not even standing room left. Okay, and it was a magnificent reception. Thank you for that. The following year, the best you could do was 2 in the afternoon, which is the worst time, you know. In other words, the following year, you gave me nothing. You didn't do me any favors at all. In fact, at the time I was working with B.F. Goodrich, if I hadn't been working with B.F. Goodrich and had their stand, I wouldn't have come. So here's the deal now. I hope you get to see this. My suggestion is that when influencers in this industry take the trouble to fly right across the world, the expense, the time and everything to come and visit you, make it worth their while. Do something to make it worth their while. Because if you do, they'll come. I don't have sponsors, as you know. I'm not sponsored in the traditional sense. I don't have anybody saying, okay, Andrew, we'll pay for a stand. We'll help you with the logistics of showing at Expo. So I won't have a stand. I can't have a stand. I'd be cost prohibitive for me to have a stand. I'm not selling anything. I'm not marketing anything. Why would I have a stand? Why would I spend the money on a stand? You understand what I'm saying? So I'm saying to the organizers of these events, make it worth our while. Open up a venue. Say, hey, I don't need to tell you what to do. Make it worth our while. And I'll come. I'll fly all the way in. I'll check into a hotel. I'll rent a car. I'll do that. I'll put my time and effort in. You put your effort in too, and I'll come. If you don't, then how do I visit the show and meaningfully connect with the Overland community? I can't. It's not possible. Just walking around the show doesn't do that for me. Not enough. Okay, so it's something for you to think about. I have sent you an email saying that I would love to visit you in Expo East in Virginia. I will come if you make it worth my while. Right, what else is there? So to wrap up, Overland Workshop, there is a 40% discount launch offer. Thank you for all of those who have participated. We've had a fantastic opening launch. Really, really brilliant. Thank you for those people that have signed up. Again, that 40% offer ends at on the last day of January. And so if you're interested, take advantage now, or become a Patreon. If you are an active paying Patreon, by the end of the month you will get a year's subscription for free. Doesn't matter how long you've been a Patreon. So it's all up to you guys. Thank you very much. We've got Overland Workshop is the new project to me. Excites me enormously because of the fact that with it we can bring in some of the world's most experienced overland expedition experts. And I don't use the word expert lightly. See you next time. Thanks for watching. If you are a true adventurer at heart, join us at overlandworkshop.com as some of the world's most experienced overland explorers share their secrets of successful expedition travel.